Hey guys. Well, this one's kind of impromptu. I wasn't expecting to film this, but yet here we are. So, long and short of it is, the lure of Facebook Marketplace has gotten me again. So I actually have been kind of like, I have a little bit of a mildly addictive personality. I smoked for like 20 years and gave that up about 5 years ago. And I actually quit drinking almost a full year ago now too. And just made sense. And I really need to do that with Facebook Marketplace and trucks. But alas, I hadn't been on it for a little bit and jumped on last night, and lo and behold, there was, and my stand here is giving out. Lo and behold, there was a, I don't even know what year it is. Wow, bud. I want to stay on the right side of the road. Good thing I see you there. Anyway, lo and behold, there was a, it looks to be a mid to late 80s L9000. So, the specs I know right now are, it's got a Big Cam 400 in it. I don't even know the transmission. I'm going to assume a 13-speed. It appears to be a fairly heavy spec truck. Dayton wheels, tall rubber. It has a wet kit. I don't know if it's 2-line, 3-line. I don't know. But it's cheap. I think I see rust in the cab corner in the one picture there is, but she runs, she drives, she stops. It says needs TLC. It's a farm truck. So, and it caught my eye because it's an L9000. It's cheap and it's close. The guy's like not even 10 miles from my house, like 5, 6, 7 miles away. No brainer. Just pulled up, waiting on this guy. Definitely a farm truck. There she is, sitting right there. Well, I accidentally just bought that truck. Accidentally on purpose. To be honest with you, I'll just be up front with you guys on pricing. I tend to be that way. Roll that up so you can hear me a little better. The reason it caught my attention is this thing went up for $2,500. I can't go wrong for $2,500. And to be honest with you, I didn't. I agreed at his asking price. I don't do that a lot. It's not my style, really. Depends. If it's somebody I know and I think it's fair, I will. I just shoot straight. If I think it's a fair price, I don't mind paying it. If it's too high, I'm gonna go down. It is what it is. I don't mince words on that. So, at any rate, it is a 1976 Ford L9000. It is, as I suspected, walking beam, rear suspension. It is a short chassis, so that thing rides like a brick. The owner and his buddy seemed to think it was swapped. But 76, if I remember right, would have been the first year for the Big Cam. And, I'm looking at engine mounts and gauging and things like that, and I think this thing was a factory Big Cam. Obviously, I can run the VIN number and figure that out. I don't know that I care. It doesn't really matter that much to me. Another point I should bring up is, I think a lot of you guys watching are of the same mind as me, so I'm preaching to the choir here, but for those of you that maybe aren't as experienced with just maybe younger, not used to dealing with people or buying and selling things in particular, but how you carry yourself goes a long way. This guy had over 200 He listed this truck last night. I just happened to see it, I think within a few minutes of it being listed. Messaged him a few hours, 2-3 hours later. But as usual, I was cordial. I was respectful. I gave him all the information, asked him all the questions, good grammar, just thorough. Set up a time, was appreciative of his time, was there when I said I was going to be there, kept in touch with him, but not too much. And, that's what he said. He said, I got guys who probably would offer me more than what I'm asking. He goes, I just appreciate you doing what you did. And he goes, I know you're local and would rather sell to somebody close by, and et cetera, et cetera. So again, just having good manners basically, and respect for people. Their time is valuable. I've sold plenty of stuff. I've bought plenty of stuff. My time is valuable in both cases, just like I know his is. So when you have that mutual respect, it usually just goes a whole lot easier. There's a lot of flakes in this world that don't show up or want to make offers when they haven't even seen something. I didn't make him an offer. I said, I want to see the truck. That's how I operate. I will never make an offer on something I haven't seen. Now, somebody gives me a price, and I say, okay, that's in the range, so as long as it is what you say it is, I may agree on the surface to that price as long as it's as described, but I'm never going to make a counter offer. Not willing to do it. If that's the kind of seller it is and they want to play the game of offers over offers, it's not how I operate. So when you find the right person, just being honest and upfront tends to work out pretty well. Rob's tidbit of the day. All right, guys. Well, there she is in all her glory. You can see it's a heavy spec truck, and you can see how much taller it sits than my. And I probably have a little bit of air out of the front end, but of my IL9000, my 87, but definitely a taller truck. So she's a heavy spec, and I apologize because we're jammed in here. Riding on Dayton's all the way around, 11R22.5s. She does have smaller, I believe they're 50 or maybe 75 gallon aluminum tanks. Obviously it's a tandem, riding on dry rotted, cracked old 22.5s, and Hendrickson walking beam suspension. Surprisingly, it rides rough, but not as rough as you'd expect. Has a air slide fifth wheel. One nice and flat tire. Has a 2-line wet kit with a 50-gallon hydraulic tank. It's a farm truck, so it's all cobbled together. It has the fuel tank strap delete on this one, as well as the exhaust delete, so you can imagine what it sounds like coming right off that turbocharger. See underneath here, big old heavy front springs. That's what's making it ride so nice and high. Same frame rails as my truck. This hood is a real treat, let me tell you. It's easiest if you step up there and then grab up there. Otherwise, try to do it from the ground. Even me at 6'4" is a little tough. So there's why I bought the truck. That is a good running, as the block tells you. That's a Big Cam 1. She's a 400. Runs amazing. Got an almost brand new steering gearbox in it that they forgot to tighten, so we took care of that, so it steers now. This truck shows 236,000 miles on the odometer. Yeah, I'm inclined to believe it. Cab is rough and rotted everywhere you look. I don't know if you can see that, but I can see daylight through there. Seats aren't showing much wear. That's why I'm thinking the mileage is correct. It's just been a farm truck, so it's been sitting. The worst area is it looks like it maybe took a jackknife hit, is what it looks like to me, but somebody bondoed the living crap out of it, and I peeled a little bit off, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's about the size of it. Got some sweet 80s mud flaps on the front. I'm sure you guys remember those. Doors are fair. I can get a few bucks probably out of the doors, to be honest with you. They're not totally shot. We got the floorboard delete, a little extra AC. Somebody's done some awesome wiring on this cab. It's all lots of fun. Got a old school basic Bostrom air seat. A little worn, but about right for 236,000 miles. 236,980 is what she's showing. To be honest with you, everything for the most part seems to work. We got all kinds of granary, a million old registrations and grain mill tickets. We're in either direct or high range, probably high because she's probably geared low. They've just got it aired off, but it is a 13 speed, just regular old Road Ranger 13. A radio delete. See more of that crust on the doors. That's a reasonable head liner. This is obviously was a basic spec truck. Nothing fancy on it. No door panels. She's just a Spartan old girl. But I'm gonna go ahead and get some batteries put in. I stole my batteries out of the Lodestar. I'm gonna get them bolted in, and we'll get this old girl fired up for you, and we'll take her for a drive. I gotta have some fun before we part it out. All right, well, the starting and charging system isn't exactly reliable in this truck or functional, so let's see what we get. Alright guys, well, there she is. A little better view of you. We just went for about a 25-minute ride. You can see she is a short tandem. Real short. You know, it doesn't ride as bad as you'd expect, to be honest. I'm sure tires might not have the most pressure in them. Walking beam is bushings are definitely out of the walking beam. You can feel it when you give it gas. She moves. You can feel it. Dog leg, dog track, whatever you want to call it. But you know, for the song that I bought it for, I mean, I hope you can see why I bought it. It's got some good, valuable parts on it. Shoot, that bumper's usable. To be honest with you, that's an original Louisville bumper right there with the cutouts for Perlux lights. God, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? Sure wish that flapper was snapping. Yeah, so I know I'm gonna piss some people off, and it is what it is. But I am parting it out. It's the whole reason I bought it. I don't have any use for it. I don't have any, you know, do I want another truck? Yes. I'm in the market in the next few months when I move some dollars around on some projects, and I will be in the market for a bigger truck. I want a sleeper truck. I want it to be a long chassis for the purposes I have for it. I do not want Dayton wheels. I want hub pilots, so, well, hub pilot or stud pilot, one way or the other. Not, you know, I don't care if they're buds or they're hubs, but I do not want Daytons. I probably don't want another Louisville, to be honest with you. I love my Louisville, but I don't need two. You know, if the right one, if an LTL presented itself, sure. But I want a long hood truck. You know, there's two options for me. It's either going to be a long hood truck, or it's going to be a newer sleeper truck, a Freightliner or a Volvo for comfort. So either way, this isn't it. I've showed you the cab. The cab's gone. It needs so much. Steering's all over the place. Bushings are out of the walking beam. That's another thing. I don't want walking beam rear suspension. I want air ride. So this ticks none of my boxes, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's got a great running Big Cam. It's got a wet kit. It's got a hood. It's got a 13 speed. That's about the only thing I might keep. You know, various other parts of the axles, to be honest with you. The frame, much as it's clean, is probably gonna go to the scrapyard. Tanks, that's another one. Tanks are definitely valuable. And you know, and maybe tires and wheels. Those are some nice 22.5 Dayton wheels. So anyway, you can be mad at me for cutting up a good old classic truck, and believe me, in a perfect world, sure, they'd all be saved, but the reality is they're not all savable. This is one of them that falls into that category, if you ask me. It does have some good parts on it though, so we're gonna part it out so it lives on in other vehicles. And the other factor is that this is an expensive hobby. I work my ass off to make a living, but this is extra over and above the living I make. So to pay for my truck hobby that you guys like to watch, I've got to make some extra money, and this is a way that I can make some extra money to put into my own projects. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video on this Big Cam Cummins L9000. There'll be another one coming out here in a couple weeks where you get to see it start to go under the knife and come apart. The goal is that in one day we're going to have it in pieces. We'll see how I fare. On that note, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great week.